Acolyte Redux. The Long Diss Goodnight. Dropping diss tracks on fans? How Jay-Z Antoinette of you. This is the problem with so many of the elite getting high off of the self-perception that they're all Rosa Parks. They start believing it. They start believing that they're living in Germany in the 1930s at worst. At best, it's Mad Men era America in the 1950s. How come they never ask themselves this? If Star Wars fans are racist, like you've been saying for over 8 years now, why are you making entertainment for them? If Adolf Hitler gave you $20, would you dance for him? If you really believe that Star Wars fans are racists, then why are you making entertainment for them? What does that say about you? Now, I don't think Star Wars fans are racist. I grew up in Boston in the 70s and 80s. None of the racist people I knew liked Star Wars. They were more into sports, particularly baseball, hockey, and football, and drinking. In fact, science fiction in general has always been a refuge of the open-minded, of those accepting of people who are different. Heck, half the characters in these stories are from other planets. Star Trek had us recognize a life form that looked like pepperoni pizza. Delicious. So, over the last 10 years or so, when I've heard anyone say that Star Wars or Star Trek fans are racist, I think to myself, either this person doesn't know what they're talking about because they clearly have zero understanding of the fan base, and probably have zero understanding of our shared cultural history that created said fan base, or this is the same marketing strategy embraced by politicians that has a pretty successful track record of demonizing the opposition. Republicans used this to great effect after 9/11. If you don't vote for us, you're a terrorist. Democrats now use it saying if you don't vote for them, you don't believe in democracy. Demonize the opposition. Make people scared of associating with them. So if you have a differing opinion about Star Wars, then you must be part of this toxic outgroup. I ain't picking sides. Vote for who you want to vote for. It's your vote. I don't tell people who to vote for. That's your choice. Interesting, coincidentally, and you may be triggered by this, but Julian Assange has just been released. He was in de facto jail for over 10 years for releasing government emails that revealed some pretty unsavory things that our government and political parties have done. One of those things, and this relates specifically to the charges that Star Wars fans are racist, is that political parties hire marketing firms to help conduct their campaigns. These firms hire subcontractors that are troll farms. These troll farms create fake social media accounts, then pretend they support the opposition and go online and act horrendously. For example, the myth of the Bernie Bro was such a marketing firm creation. The Clinton campaign hired firms with troll farms. Those trolls created fake accounts that pretended to support Sanders, but would go online and harass people, making regular people think, hey, I don't want to be a part of these Bernie Bros, they're toxic. And to be fair, the Clintons didn't invent this. It's a tactic that goes back centuries. Whenever your opponent is speaking in the town square, hire some thugs to go and start fights. This has now been adapted to social media. This tactic has obviously been embraced by major studios like Disney. And my question is, how would actors like Moses Ingram and Amanda Stenberg feel if they knew they were working for corporations that are hiring marketing teams to shovel toxicity at them? You're literally working for a giant corporation that is exploiting a terrible social ill for profit. And now they have you, and many people who have no critical thinking skills, thinking that, while they work for the establishment, they're part of the resistance. They're Rosa Parks with $1 million contract. You see, the difference between you and Rosa Parks is, she stood up against the prevailing thinking of the time, which divided people. She knew that mentality was wrong, and she wasn't going to go along with it. She stood up to that. You, Stenberg, are going along with the prevailing mentality of the time. You're going along with what the establishment is telling you to think. I believe Rosa Parks and anyone who takes racism seriously would be disgusted by this, and anyone who has been elevated to the heights of wealth, access, and privilege, and instead of bringing people together, you're trying to make money off of racism. You're trying to make money off of dividing them. What do diss tracks say about our culture? More and more get released every year. Are we getting more petty? Most are about personal, intimate relationships gone awry, bad breakups, band breakups, or somebody said something mean about me, or something I just didn't like. A brief perusal of Wikipedia showed that in 2024 alone, there have been 23 diss tracks. And the year ain't over. The next highest year was 2018, which had 11. So the perceived divisions in our society are being reflected in many ways, including diss tracks. The difference between rapper diss tracks, musical feuds, and Taylor Swift serving up exes in this objectively terrible song by Stenberg. The rappers and other musicians don't level them at their fans. Even they know that's a pointless fight that you just can't win. Thanks for clicking in.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. How could this be a big meeting if the orphans wasn't there?